Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well while learning truth, 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you sisters that are sincere in your children, shalom. And in today's video, as you can see, is going to be another video from Dabu77. And it's going to be just basically building off of what it is that he uploaded, you see, because there's a lot of events that are taking place in this earth, man. That's why the Lord ultimately told us to be watching, right? And that's what this video is basically going to be surrounded around, you know, just watching and paying attention to the things that are happening around you and in this world, because, you know, the Lord is allowing prophecy to speed up quick, you see, in these times that we're in, man. So I'm actually going to go to a precept real quick before I even get into the video. This is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15 through 17, right? In the KJV, it says, "See then that you walk circumspectly," right? "Not as fools, but as wise." And that's the spirit we got to be in, brothers and sisters, especially in this time, knowing that prophecy is fulfilling like never before. You see, there's a lot of events that are occurring around the earth. We got to be circumspect, man. You know, that's being circumspect around our everyday surroundings, the places that we go, you know, and also on a worldwide stage as well. We can't be ignorant of the things that are going on around the world, because there's a lot of things, like I said before, that are happening, man, that are not being reported, that the news ain't gonna show you, that you're gonna really have to do research and dig in order to find these things, man. That's why the scriptures say to study to show thyself approved. And that also goes into studying and, you know, looking at things that are happening on a geopolitical, you know, that's all part of being occupied in prophecies, man. That's the scriptures have told us to be, because when you're going to be occupied in prophecies, you're going to be paying attention to everything. You see, and that's the spirit that we got to be in now more than ever. So I'm actually finished reading. It said, verse 16, "Redeeming the time because the days are evil," right? And we living in some very evil times, man. And we know that is only going to get worse, right? So, hey, expect the unexpected, man, because a lot of things are ultimately happening, right? Verse 17, it says, "Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." And we know what the will of the Lord is. It's to bring evil. It's to bring terror. It's to bring judgment to this earth, man, in horrible times, man, for the people that are not of the Lord's elect. So we understand that, and we know that we're in these times and seasons where, hey, anything bad could pop off at any given time. So you just want to be in the spirit of being circumspect, man, and, you know, paying attention to everything that is happening, man, keeping up with events that are taking place, keeping up with the news articles and the wars and the earthquakes and all of the various other different types of things that the Lord is allowing to go on throughout the earth, man, because, hey, we're living in that time of judgment, man. You see, that's why it tells you right here. I'm actually getting that. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 39, right? And I'm going to start at verse 1, getting straight to the point, because this is what we should be in, the mind state of doing, being occupied in, you know, the things that are occurring. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies," man. And that's what we got to be in the mindset of doing, you know, keeping up with the furthest with the events pertaining to World War III, keeping up with the things that are pertaining to Jacob's trouble and what these devils are passing, the laws and unrighteous decrees and things that they're ultimately putting in place. You know, paying attention to what's happening over there in the Middle East, over there between Israel, Iran, America, Russia, you know, all of these different types of things, man. You want to be paying attention to these things in these times, because like I said, we're in a time where, hey, the Lord can bring, you know, anything at any given moment. And you don't want these days ultimately to overtake you as that thief, man. You want to be on your watch. You want to be paying attention. You want to be in the spirit. You want to be circumspect. You want to be wise. As it tells you in Proverbs 22:3, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." You don't want to be in that spirit of not thinking that there's nothing going on. You see, no, you want to always be watching, because we know what the scriptures have said, right? This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. "For when they shall say peace and safety," right, "then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." And these are the time and seasons that we're in, man, where a sudden destruction can come at any given time, man, because we know that that's ultimately what they've been pushing a lot, that there's peace coming, that there's going to be good times, that, you know, things are not going to get worse than what they are. That's what they've been pushing to the minds of the people. And this is the spirit that a lot of these people in the world are in, thinking that everything is normal, even though you got all of these, you know, events that are occurring around the earth, proving that we're in some deadly serious times. Nobody is taking these things seriously, man, especially among our people, right? So it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape, right? And I'm going to read on down, verse 4. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief, right? And that's talking about us hopeful elect brothers and sisters, right? Because like I said, we're in the spirit of watching. We're paying attention to the events that are happening in the earth, right? So hey, these days that are to come, these evils that the Lord is ultimately going to bring forth, you see, we're not going to be overtaken by these things because we preparing ourselves spiritually and knowing that they are coming, right? Because we're watching, we're seeing these things manifest, right? So it says, verse 5, ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness, right? Because the 2/3 of our people, they're of darkness, man. And these heathens, they have no idea what's ultimately going on around the world. They have no idea what's coming towards them, man. You see, because they're in the dark. They're not paying attention to the things that are of the light, which is, you know, as I said earlier, being in these prophecies, paying attention and seeing the things that are ultimately happening and what's going on. This is where we should be giving our mind and all of our energy towards, man. Right? Speaking to myself first and foremost. Right? And it says, verse 6, it says, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober, right? And that's what we got to be in the spirit of doing now more than ever, brothers and sisters, watching, man, paying attention to these events, because there's a lot of things going on around this world, man, a lot of things that are happening that, like I said, the media and these news sites are not going to report on, man, things that you're actually going to have to really do research and to find out, you see? So like I said, you just want to be in the spirit of being sober-minded, you know, and paying attention to what's ultimately happening, man. Because like I said, we're living in deadly serious times, man. Right? So I'm actually getting to this video, right? Fair use on 1976 Copyright Act, fair use. Not getting paid for this video, right? This is only for educational purposes only. So with that being said, fair use, right? Salakia, brothers and sisters, this ad playing Salakia, right? All right.
What's up, guys? D7 checking back in with you. We've got some things going on here on the hack level involving China, in which they're denying, but we know they're embedded in everything across this country. Now we're finding out that the National Nuclear Security Administration, or the NNSA, they've been hit by a highly sophisticated cyber attack. Now, as always, they come out and they try to say at the gate that no sensitive data or classified information has been compromised, but that can't be proven. They admit, on the other hand, that they got in, the data was stolen, but they won't admit what, that the login credentials of individuals was all stolen, and that they could have potentially worked their way in deeper into the system. And they're pointing the finger at the Chinese. Massive hack into our nuclear database systems. Now, this is ironic because you have the Office of Multilateral Nuclear Affairs just got shut down and gutted. What are the odds of that? If anybody cares or is paying attention, they completely deleted it, the State Department's Office of Multilateral Nuclear Affairs. And other people are saying, this is crazy. These are very important people that oversee all types of stuff that has to do with everything nuclear. And they just removed it. And at the same time, NNSA getting targeted and hit here with a sophisticated cyber attack. How far did they go? They go in getting, who knows what kind of code they got, what kind of buttons they can flip, chaos that they can cause. I will say this, though, no matter what happens, it's a setup. It's a setup, just like it always is. And it looks like China's pitted to be the bad guy to take the fall and the blame for all this, all these attacks. And they're not going.
Right. Like you just said in there, man. Hey, we living in that time of season, you know, where anything is bound to happen at any given time. So that's why I told you, brothers and sisters, that we got to be in the spirit of praying, man, and watching. And you know, ultimately looking at everything in which it is that is happening. Because like I said, you don't want these times that are to come to overtake you, man. to come upon you unawares, and you're not, watching. So you want to be in that sober spirit, man, of always being in prophecies and watching events that are taking place. Because, hey, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. So I'm going to get this precept right here that I got. This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. It said, but the end of all things is at hand, because we're at the end, man, of this man's system. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, we're getting closer and closer to this devil coming out of power, right? It said, be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And that's the spirit that we got to constantly be in, praying, for the Lord to have mercy upon us, and also praying for the Lord to give us the spirit to be sober-minded, to be paying attention, to be watching, and to be really, truly engaged in these prophecies, man. Because like I said, there's a lot of things going on, man. You see things that they're not going to tell you on the news, things that they're not going to tell you that is happening, man. These are things that you really got to be doing research and really being involved in these prophecies to really be, finding these certain things, man, So, yeah, like I said, Lord's willing, I pray this video was edifying. It just was something quick through the spirit. Like I said, a lot of things are going on, and we just got to be in that spirit of being circumspect, and watching, So with that being said, to the next time, I'm going to say shalom.